Welcome back. All right, so some surprises abound tonight. One surprise for me is, have I had a jersey wrong? Like for the previews, I didn't want to say it, but it's been a week. If I wear a team's jersey for the preview, they win. And that's been the case so far throughout the regular season. Other than I think I wore a San Jose jersey for the second game between San Jose and Nashville, just because it seemed like it'd be fair. But anyways, we're going to start things off with the New Jersey Devils at home against Anaheim. And I was worried that my prediction was going to be wrong early in this one. I was Stolars versus Blackwood, New Jersey wearing the jersey, which really the helmets need to say helmet on them, or else they look silly. Devils press at 3.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Hischier. The shots are 3-1 in favor of New Jersey at 5 minutes. They came out well, but the first goal is on the third shot for Anaheim. It's Silverberg from Lundestrom at 7:57. The Devils try to answer. They get a power play. They're unable to score on that. And after that, Silverberg scores from McTavish and Fowler at 13:08. And it was a shot by Fowler that bounced off the boards, threw everything off, and then Silverberg buries it. So that's 2 goals for Silverberg in about 6 minutes of time. So the Ducks pressed with 5.5 minutes left. Sharon Govich then had a rush chance. That was saved. Stolars looked dialed in at that point. Wouldn't stay that way. 1:24 left. The Ducks get a power play. There's a shorthanded break for Bastian. He's denied by Stolars. So coming out of the first period, 2 stories here. One, Anaheim's up 2-0. And second, 11 saves by Stolars. Many of them really nice shots. So second period early power play for the Ducks. It's unsuccessful, but then Palat. He scores from Hughes and Graves at 4:17, and then the Devils push for the tie. Klingberg has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 5-4 in favor of Anaheim, 7.5 minutes into the period. We had Comtois versus Smith after a hit by Smith, where Smith was going to the box, and there's a review for everything that went on, and we end up just staying 5-on-5, so much ado about nothing on that. But it was a misconduct for Comtois, so he's taken off the ice. Hischier would score to tie it before the period was out at 14:48 from Bratt and Siegenthaler, and he buried it in close. Hischier with his first of the season. And then the Devils press for the lead. So all the momentum is with New Jersey. Does it roll over into the third? Spoiler alert, yes. At 33 seconds, it is Hamilton from Bratt and Hischier. So Hischier with a goal and an assist. Bratt on the board a couple of times. And then the Devils get a power play. That becomes a 4-on-4, so everything gets killed off there. The shots are 4-1 in New Jersey's favor at 6.5 minutes. The Ducks would get a power play. Terry has a net drive that's held. That power play's killed off. And then Mercer with the insurance goal from Sharon Govich at 12 minutes and 49 seconds. The Ducks press for an answer. They would pull the goaltender with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, but ultimately New Jersey wins this one 4-2. The Devils go to 1-2 on the season. The Ducks fall to 1-3. So 3 straight losses for Anaheim. It's rough looking for the Ducks so far, and they're going to be glad when this road trip's over, aren't they? The shots in this one, 11-6 New Jersey in the first, 20-10 New Jersey in the second, 10-4 New Jersey in the third. They outshot Anaheim 41-20. Power plays, Anaheim 0-4, New Jersey 0-3. Hits 26-22 for the Devils. Stolars saves 37 out of 41. Blackwood saves 18 out of 20. So pretty entertaining game, and New Jersey comes out with their first win, and I didn't hear anything about firing the coach tonight, so I guess that's only for the losses. All right, next up, Boston in against the Ottawa Senators. Boston was due for one of these, and Ottawa was due for a win. You put those two together, here we are. It was Swayman versus Forsberg. I am getting concerned about Swayman, just a little bit. This is back-to-back iffy-numbered starts for Swayman. So Alfredson was honored pregame as part of a big pregame routine, as this is the first home game they've had in front of a full crowd in a while. So I understand the pomp and circumstance, and it seemed to fire up the team and fire up the fans. Early press by the Sens, and then it's a rush goal. It's Giroux from DeBrincat at 1:04. That makes the crowd all that much louder. Sens press for another, and they would get one. Tkachuk scores from Stützle and Zub at 3:09. The Senators then get a power play as this just keeps rolling. Kastelik's denied as it ends. DeBrusk then had a rush chance that was saved. There's a delay game call that gives the Bruins the power play. There was a post for Pasternak. It's killed off, but had 5 shots. So good start for Forsberg. Sens score, goalie interference challenge, and yes, it's a correct challenge, no goal, but they get it back. Batherson scores from Tkachuk and Stützle at 13:14. Only the 9th shot of the game for Ottawa, and that's the 3rd goal. DeBrincat then fires one wide. The Bruins rush the other way. If Forsberg sees it, he saves it at this point. Sens press with 3.5 minutes left, but with 3 minutes left, Bergeron puts it in the net from Pastrnak and DeBrusk. Sens try to answer, but with 41.2 seconds left, the Bruins go to the power play. So that rolls over into the second period. Pastrnak fires one wide, and then Krejci gets the power play marker. It's bar down from Bergeron and Pastrnak at 28 seconds, and then Greer ties it. Yes, AJ Greer continues his remarkable start. Coyle with the assist at 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's a turnover in the Sens' end. It's into their net. So 3 goals for Ottawa, 3 goals for the Boston Bruins. What could happen next? Pressed by the Senators at 7 minutes. We then had a fight between Clifton and Kelly. Good fight there. And then Pinto scores from Joseph and Mott at 11:57. It was a 2-on-1. That third line gets on the board. And then Stützle scores from Batherson and Tkachuk at 13:58. Swayman wasn't sharp. I've seen Swayman when he's really good, and so far this season we really haven't seen that with him. DeBrincat with a rush chance, that's saved. It's really all Sens. And then Kastelik from Watson. And it's a turnover that Boston needs to be aware of. While I've talked about the goaltending, the defense wasn't very good either. Lindholm with some iffy plays there. But yeah, Kastelik gets the goal at 16:29. Now Boston does fight back. First, it's Foligno from Lauko at 17:55. He buried the rebound there. And then Pastrnak with 15 seconds left. He scores from Bergeron and DeBrusk. So at 19:45, it's a 6-5 game. We're going into the third period, and I'm thinking, am I going to need a tiny board for a game in October? Because I don't want to have to use a tiny board for a game in October. I didn't need it. Sporel blocks a Batherson shot. The Senators press. The shots are 2-1 Boston at 4.5 minutes. So it wasn't as adventurous. It wasn't nearly as adventurous of a period as the second. 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and Zub would score just past the midway mark. He scores from Batherson and Brandstrom at 10:07. So Brandstrom's off to a really good start to the season. Zub with a goal and an assist. Bruins then get a power play. That was unsuccessful. The Sens get a power play with 1:53 left, and that finishes the game. Ottawa wins 7-5. They go to 1-2 on the season. The Bruins drop to 3-1. Shots 11-9 Boston in the first, 16-12 Ottawa in the second, 10-6 Boston in the third. Boston outshoots them 33-31. Power plays, Boston 1 for 3, Ottawa 0 for 2. Hits 34-23 for Ottawa. Swayman saves 19 out of 25. Ullmark saves 5 out of 6 in relief, and Forsberg saves 28 out of 33. Forsberg's night ends up being pretty rough too, but they win the game. So even when Forsberg has a bit of an off night, after a really good first period, honestly, that win comes out, and it's a key win for the Senators, who really needed it. Now, speaking of desperately needing wins, Columbus and Vancouver. And I knew what was coming, and it's weird. You should be excited when your team scores first. You should be excited when especially Vancouver struggled in the first period last year. It's all backwards. So it was Martin versus Merzlikins. Early Columbus press. They didn't get any shots out of it, though. Miller to Mikheyev, that was intercepted. I thought Mikheyev was okay tonight. I didn't think he was a problem. Hughes has a rush chance, that's blocked. And then Jenner with a break the other way, that was saved. Hughes was pinching a lot, and it was causing a lot of havoc. A lot of odd man rushes the other way. Hughes might want to pick his spots a little better. Hughes then defends a Chinikov net drive, which probably was because of something he did. Power play for Columbus, but Columbus allows the shorthanded goal. So tonight Vancouver gets the shorthanded goal. It's Horvat from Pettersson at 7:51, scored 2-on-1. No chance for Merzlikins on that one, and they did finish the kill. Columbus presses at the half, but Pettersson would score to make it 2-0 Vancouver from Podkolzin and Höglander at 11:11. And what did I write underneath this? Oh, good, a 2-goal lead, ... So, see, I know what's coming. We had a fight between Shannon and Olivier before the period's out. It's the second time they fought. They fought last year as well. And here we go. Second period. Canucks press at 2 minutes. Blankenberg had a screenshot. That was saved. Shots are 4-2 for Columbus at the 8-minute mark. Martin holds with Columbus in close, and that was right after Besser had been denied on a net drive. So both teams getting good opportunities there. Miller's then denied from the slot. There's good back and forth at the half. Power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. Jenner has a chance out of the box, that saved. But Danforth, a player I like, good work ethic, scores from Gavrikov and Chinakhov at 15:47, and then Columbus, with the fans now behind him, CBJ chance going, they press for the tie. Martin holds with Voracek on the doorstep, and after 2, it's 2-1 for Vancouver. Third period, which has not been friendly to Vancouver. Columbus presses early. Pearson has a rush chance, that saved. Mikheyev draws a power play with a nice move towards the net. The Canucks couldn't set up, and then it became a 4-on-4 as they take a penalty. Near miss for Roslovic. Next one saved. Myers gets shaken up on a play, because of course. And then Werenski. It was a good press that led to the goal. Werenski pinches from the point at the exact right time and buries it. Jenner and Goudreau with the assists at 6:18. But less than a minute later, Vancouver gets it back. It's Horvat with his second of the game on a face-off win from Besser and Pullman at 6:59. The shots are 3 apiece at 8 minutes. 1 goal each out of those 3 shots. But then at 9:21, Goudreau scores on a wraparound. And it's a play that Martin overcommitted, and he just made Martin look foolish on that one. Myers prevents a Columbus goal from going in, so this was almost over in regulation. Canucks get a power play. It was good, but it got killed off by Columbus. Near miss by Chinakhov with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and we're going to overtime. Columbus controls it first. There was a post for Pettersson on a 2-on-1. There's a 3-on-0 for Columbus. 3-on-0. And they don't score. Deflects out, and yeah, they didn't score. Miller then with the giveaway, but they recover it. However, Gavrikov would end the game. He scores from Chinakhov and Voracek at 3:21. It's a 2-on-1. So odd man rushes are just they're just lethal against Vancouver right now, and just some lazy plays, turnovers. Stop me if you've heard this with every other review of a Canuck game, but they lose 4-3 in overtime. Columbus is 1-3. Vancouver 0-3-1. So the dream of 0-82 is dead, but the O's still there. Shots are 9-8. Hey, if they're going to be bad, I want them to be horrible. Enough with the mediocrity. Either be awful or be great. I'm done. 9-8 Vancouver in the first, 12-8 Columbus in the second, 16-10 Vancouver in the third. In the overtime, Columbus outshoots Vancouver 3-2. Final shots 35-33 Vancouver. Power plays, the Canucks 0-3. Columbus 0-2. The hits were 17-13 Columbus. Spencer Martin, 29 saves on 33 shots. Merzlikins was very good. After allowing those 2 goals in the first, he was fantastic. Saves 32 out of 35 overall. So, yeah, good game for Merzlikins. He needed that. I talked about his save percentage this morning. It went up tonight. All right, last one on this board is Philadelphia in against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, I don't know when we start saying a team is for real. That's a question mark. And I maybe you look at around the end of October, but Philly's starting to make a believer out of me here. So it's Hart versus Vasilevsky. And Carter Hart's making a believer as well. Although I talked during the offseason about how Carter Hart I thought was due for, I haven't had anything bad to say about Carter Hart in a while. Early chances for both teams in this one. Bolts press at 4.5 minutes, and the shots are 6-1 in their favor at 6.5 minutes. So Carter Hart's facing a lot of rubber, and he's turning it all aside. Hart loses a blade, but it's all good. He just kicks himself over to the bench. I don't know. Those leg pads apparently make it real easy to just, sashay yourself right over to the bench. So we had a fight then between Delorier and Maroon as Delorier tries to fire his teammates up. Bolts, though, they press with 9 minutes left. The Flyers draw a power play. That was killed off by Tampa. Solid road period for Philly, though. Really, they controlled Tampa. They kept the crowd mostly out of it. And we're going to the second period tied. Bolts get an early power play, and this gets the crowd into it. It's Stamkos, who's off to a fantastic start to the season, on the power play from Mesnikov and Kucherov at 1:25. The Flyers try to answer. Perry has a net drive held, then there's some punching after that. Because it's Corey Perry on a net drive, you'd be disappointed if there wasn't any punching. We had a fight then between Braun and Perry, and the Bolts end up with the power play out of all this. And they score on this one too. It's Stamkos from Kucherov and Hedman at 4:12. So it's 2-0 now for Tampa. And it feels like, well, Philly had a decent run, but Philly doesn't have anything going. They're not getting enough shots. And it just feels like, yeah, this is just Tampa Bay's going to win it. It was fun while it lasted for Philly. The shots are 9-2 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning in the half. But at 10:43, Lawton scores from Zamula and Frost. So that gets Philly on the board. Hayes is then robbed on a play. Konechny was robbed as well during that run of plays there as they're pressing for the tie. Flyers press again with 3.5 minutes left. Hart denies Hagel. That play deflects out. Perry then had a net drive that was held. Corey Perry all around the net tonight, could not get a goal. But after 2 periods, it's 2-1. I still felt like, Flyers, I mean, again, good road game, good to hang in there, but I mean, that undefeated streak's got to end at some point. So third period, Flyers get a power play, and they score on it. And it's Van Riemsdyk with a perfect tip in front. He was screening the goalie at the time. Hayes and D'Angelo with the assists at 106. No chance for Vasilevsky on that. Then the Flyers press at 4 minutes. They sense they can win this. Bolts get a power play. That was killed off. The shots are 7-4 in favor of Tampa with 8 minutes left. Good structure to the Flyers' defense. Something that they were lacking the last couple of years is that ability to defend, whether it's a lead, whether it's a tie game, or just to give themselves a chance. This Flyers team is listening to Tortorella, and they're playing his systems very well. Whether or not that lasts is what remains to be seen, but so far, Philly looks good. So Noah Cates ends up scoring at 12:44 on a turnover and pretty much silences that Tampa crowd with that one. Point then had a rush chance that was defended. Tampa Bay pulls the goalie with 1 minute and 50 seconds left, but they don't tie it. Your final score is 3-2. They had all kinds of opportunities that last minute, and just Carter Hart stood on his head. Philadelphia is 3-0. Tampa Bay is 1-3. So we're not to panic stations yet with Tampa, but I mean, this streak has to turn itself around, right? Shots favor Tampa the whole way. 10-6 in the first, 17-10 Tampa in the second, 12-8 Tampa in the third. Final shots 39-24 for the Lightning. Power plays, Philadelphia 1 for 2, Tampa Bay 2 for 3. The hits were 27-21 for Philly. Carter Hart, 37 saves on 39 shots. He's pretty good. And Vasilevsky, 21 saves on 24 shots at the other end. So, yeah, Tampa Bay with a setback and Philadelphia with the stunner. How long can they keep it up? I'm interested to find out. Let's go to the next board. Okay, some fun stuff on the second board too, starting off with the San Jose Sharks and the New York Islanders. So I would like to welcome Connor Bedard to the San Jose Sharks. I get the feeling that they're already mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Remember last year when San Jose got off to a really good start when they played all the Canadian teams? They're not getting Canadian teams this time, and it's hurting them. It's Reimer versus Varlamov in this one. Cizikas had a net drive. Reimer holds there. The shots are 3-2 in favor of the Islanders 5 minutes in. The Islanders played well. They played Islanders hockey. Wahlstrom has a net drive that saved. The Sharks press at the half. Schimmick blocks a Dobson shot, clears it out. And then Nico Sturm, who's off to a decent start since he missed that empty net a few games ago. He scores from Svechnikov and Magna at 12:50. There's Svechnikov on the board again. Sharks then get a power play. That was killed off. Before the period's out, the Islanders get a power play, which was also killed. It's 1-0 San Jose after 1. Second period, early jump for the Sharks. There's a near miss for Cizikas on a 2-on-1. Paul Mary was then denied in close. The Islanders get a power play. Nelson has a shot that deflects out. Good cycle on that Islanders power play, but the Sharks do kill it off. Both power plays were unsuccessful tonight. And then Anders Lee, after a face-off win, he gets a goal from Pelican Nelson at 10:03. So just past the halfway mark to the game, and the Islanders are on the board. And then the Islanders look for the lead. Good back and forth chances both ways, but the shots are 13-4 for the Islanders with 6 minutes left. And then Parise would score at 14:48 from Dobson and Pajot. And now the Islanders are looking for another. They're up 2-1. But kind of against the flow of the play, on a failed clear by the Islanders, Benning gets it, gives it to Svechnikov. It goes in the net at 17:10. They double check to make sure it was a good goal. And yeah, it's a good goal. Wahlstrom, however, he restores the lead for the New York Islanders. He scores from Nelson at 19:04, and that was on a face-off win as well. So one thing with San Jose they have to be careful is, I think it was Montreal a couple years ago that all their goals seemed to be after they lost a face-off. It was bizarre. But this is where we're at with San Jose, and it's something they need to work on. There's a lot of things San Jose needs to work on. So we're going to the third with the Islanders in the lead. The Sharks get a power play. The Islanders don't let them set it up, and it becomes a 4-on-4. Martin has a rush chance that's saved, and then Wahlstrom. He scores at 5:24. Wahlstrom is off to a good start. The Islanders are shooting the puck a lot. This could be a team that scores a lot more goals than last year. Sharks get a power play after that. That was killed off. The Islanders would press with 4.5 minutes left. Goalie pull with 2:45 left. Well, that allows Clutterbuck to get the empty net goal from Martin and Pelech at 17:34. So the Islanders win a big one, 5-2 over San Jose. San Jose's 0-5. The Islanders are 2-1 on the season with that win. The shots in this one favor the Islanders throughout. 11-9 in the first, 21-8 in the second, 14-11 in the third. The final shots 46-28 for the Islanders. Power plays, both teams go for 3. Hits 28-22 for the Islanders. Reimer with 41 saves on 45 shots. Varlamov with 26 saves on 28 shots. He was very good in his first game of the year, but he didn't really have to be great. He just, had to make the saves at the right time, and he did, and they win the game 5-2. So very Islanders-like game, but the 5 goals, it feels like that might be something we see more from the Islanders this year. More offense, open the game up a little bit. Let these guys who can score goals actually go out there and do that. I think it's a good plan. All right, next up, Buffalo. How could I not wear Buffalo? Right? Now, Buffalo's had good starts. They've had good starts in years where they've missed the playoffs. I remember, I think it was, 4 years ago now, they had that really good start. But it was Comrie versus Skinner. And Comrie looks like he's a good investment for Buffalo right now, right? So early chances for the Oilers. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Sabres get a power play, and they score on it. It's Dahlin from Middlestad at 4 minutes. I didn't put his power play goal, but I remember it's a power play goal. And the Oilers answer right back. So Nurse scores from Draisaitl and Ceci at 4:23. It was a rush chance. And I thought, yeah, the Oilers aren't losing this one at home. They're just not. The Oilers get a power play. That was killed off. The Oilers' power play, lethal through most of this season so far. It's been a very short season. But tonight, Buffalo kind of handled it. Shots are 9-5 for the Oilers at 9 minutes. So Comrie was busy. McDavid to Kane, near miss there. They were just a little bit off tonight, in part because Buffalo was breaking that up. Oilers get a power play. That's killed off. And in the closing seconds, a crossbar for Yamamoto away from a lead. So we go to the second period with it tied at 1. Didn't last. Tage Thompson with a beautiful goal from Jeff Skinner at 46 seconds. He kind of goes end to end, and he just dekes around Skinner and puts it in the net. It's one of those goals that a guy would score and go, why can't you guys do that? It's like, we just can't. We can't make the goalie look that bad. So yeah, it's 2-1. And then the Sabres push for another. Lyubushkin drilled Holloway. Now it was a clean hit, but you got to fight when it's a clean hit and you injure somebody. So Holloway exits the game, did not come back. And then coming out of all of it, the Sabres end up getting the power play. So fight happens, but there's an instigator, all that other fun stuff. Anyways, it's unsuccessful. They don't score on it. But then Peterka scores from Hinostroza at 5:15. So suddenly it's a 3-1 game in favor of Buffalo. Now, if you're watching this, it didn't feel like it was 3-1 Buffalo, or should have been. The Oilers had a lot of good opportunities here. Hyman's denied, draws himself a power play there. Good cycle, Lyubushkin clears it out. It's killed off, and that put the Oilers at 0-3. They did not get another power play on the night. Tuck's then denied on a fast break. The Sabres get a power play. Really aggressive penalty kill ends that. Sabres press with a minute and a half left. They're up 3-1 after 2 periods. And I was very surprised. Third period, early press by the Oilers. Jeff Skinner with the rush. Stuart Skinner with the save. So Skinner versus Skinner right there. No actual relation between them, of course. Bouchard then had a net drive that was held. Yamamoto's denied and close. He had a good game, just couldn't get the puck in the net. That happens. The shots are 4-1 for the Oilers at 5 minutes. Heavy press by the Oilers. The Sabres end up icing it, and you could just feel that momentum just kept going towards the Oilers, and the Sabres had a goaltender that was a wall tonight. So Dahlin takes a chance away from Kane as Kane's driving to the net. Nice play by Dahlin. As I said, Holloway doesn't return. The Oilers press with 9 minutes left with 7:25 left. The Sabres get a power play. That was killed off. The Oilers press after it ends, and Comrie absolutely robs McDavid and others. And just, I could have filled the board with the fantastic saves from Comrie. Thompson then fires one wide on a break opportunity. They pull the goaltender with 2:20 left. They call a timeout with 2 minutes left. It's the Oilers. They score 6-on-5. It's Nugent-Hopkins from McDavid at 18:27. Nice pass by McDavid, and Nugent-Hopkins buries it. The Oilers push to tie. The Sabres seem to be out of sorts. However, they hold on. Tuck with the empty net goal from Cousins at 19:55 silences the crowd, and they win this one 4-2. Buffalo goes to 2-1 on the season. The Oilers are now 1-2. The shots favored the Oilers in the first 15-7, favored Buffalo in the second 12-10, but then in the third the Oilers outshoot them 23-5. Final shots 48-24 for the Oilers. Most nights they win this game, so no reason to panic if you're the Oilers. Most nights you'd win this. Power plays 1 for 4 for Buffalo, 0 for 3 for the Oilers. Hits 28-16 for the Oilers, so they outshot them, they outhit them. Just couldn't beat Comrie, who saved 46 out of 48. Skinner saves 20 out of 23. And again, it's not the kind of start the Oilers are looking forward to the season. I think the problem is they find themselves behind the 8 ball too much, and that's something they're going to have to just start on time and hope that they're not dealing with a Comrie situation. Because again, they were ahead in shots 9-5 at 9 minutes. They just couldn't solve Comrie often enough after that. All right, next on the board, Vegas and Calgary. And this felt like a big game because it was a big game. Thompson versus Markstrom. Second shot by Vegas goes in the net. It's Carrier from White Cloud at 3:55. Mangiapane then had a rush opportunity. That was saved by Thompson. Shots are 5-4 in Calgary's favor. 8 minutes into this. Vegas gets a power play. The Flames don't let them set up. That power play wasn't going anywhere. Vegas's power play, which had been good going into tonight, has its problems. It's killed off. Kadri has a rush chance that's saved, but then Brett Howden scores his first of the year from McNabb and Stone at 15:23. Vegas would then get a power play. That's killed off. So after the first period, it's 2-0 Vegas. And I was thinking, well, usually the home team wins between these two teams, but doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight. I need to stop thinking about things. Anyways, second period, early press by Vegas. Power play then for Calgary. That was killed off. Flames go back to the power play. The Flames score, but it's challenged for goalie interference. And yeah, they take it off the board. And I agree with the call. I do think that on that play that it definitely made it so Thompson could not make the save. And I didn't think there was enough contact with, I think it was Kadri that was going to the net. There wasn't enough contact with the Flame that made contact to say, well, he was pushed in. I didn't see that there was enough there. So the goal comes off, and then Vegas did finish the kill. Flames press at 8.5 minutes. Carrier throws a hit that's interference, so that's a penalty, and it draws a crowd after because it was a late hit. Lindholm would score on the power play. He had the other power play goal too that was taken off the board. This one counts from Huberdeau and Kadri at 10:43, and it just deflects over Thompson and in. It looked like it might have gone off Martinez's stick and into the net. It was one of those just floaters that ends up behind the goaltender. So then they push to tie it. They end up drawing another power play. They're fourth in the second period, and they score on this one as well. It's Toffoli from Anderson and Huberdeau at 13:19. So the power play draws Calgary back into this game and ties it up. Lucic, then with a good offensive shift, and he's throwing some hits as well. So Lucic continues to be kind of a folk hero to Calgary fans. Flames go back to the power play. They're fifth of the second period. Weegar is a blast. White Cloud blocks, and they do kill that one off. So a lot of power plays in that second period for Calgary. We roll into the third with them tied. Flames had the momentum early, but Vegas gets a power play. Pietrangelo had a good opportunity. That was held onto. There's a shorthanded rush by Backlund. He fires wide there. Then there's a shorthanded rush for Toffoli that helps to end the kill. It was with about 10 seconds left in the kill, so that finishes it off. The shots are 5-2 for Calgary 8 minutes into this. They want this win. They're at home. And it felt like OT already by the time that clock rolls into the second half of the period. 8:47 left. Vegas goes back to the power play. There was a shorthanded rush for Backlund. That's held. So Backlund, very good penalty killing in this game today, which will surprise no Flames fan anywhere. Then there's a post for Riley Smith and out, and that's as close as they get. That one's killed off. And then at 15:31, Backlund. So after some really good shorthanded play, he scores 5-on-5 from Coleman and Weegar. And there you go. It makes it 3-2 Calgary. He scored in close and was a really nice press by Calgary to set that up. The goalie gets pulled with about 2 minutes left to no avail. Your final score is 3-2 in favor of the Flames. They go to 3-0 on the season. Vegas drops to 3-1. Shots in this one, 13-9 Vegas in the first, or 13-9 Calgary in the first, 15-7 Calgary in the second, 12-5 Calgary in the third. Final shots, 40-21 for the Flames. Power plays, 0 for 4 for Vegas, 2 for 6 for Calgary. Hits 21-13 in favor of Calgary. Thompson saves 37 out of 40. Markstrom saves 19 out of 21. It is interesting looking at these two Alberta games beside each other, and you see the stats, the shots anyways, are almost the same between Edmonton and Calgary, except Calgary wins and Edmonton loses. So, again, if Edmonton had gotten more breaks, didn't have to worry about Comrie, they'd probably win that one. But anyways, moving on to the final game of the night, and it's Nashville and the LA Kings. And of course it went to a shootout because that does tend to happen with late games, although not as late as I normally am with doing the review. So it's Peterson versus Saros, and on the first shot during a delayed penalty, it goes in on Peterson. Not a great start. Glass from Granlund and McDonough at 132, so that's Cody Glass's first goal of the season. Then there's pushing after Peterson holds the next shot. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The shots are 5-2 in favor of the Kings, 6 minutes into this. Kings press at 8 minutes. We get a good pace, few whistles. You can tell when it's a good pace and few whistles because the announcers will complain there aren't commercial breaks. They'll be like, yeah, so we're skating right through commercial breaks because there's probably somebody in their ear telling them, right? So the Kings get a power play. That's killed off. Then Nashville gets a power play, also killed off. With 23.5 seconds left, the Kings get a power play because this game was riddled with power plays. When you have a game that's riddled with power plays, it's hard to get that flow. And so it's tough for me to get a lot of notes when that game just doesn't have the flow to it. So as much as there was earlier in that period, all those penalties start bringing it to a halt. So that power play rolls over into the third. There was a shorthanded 3-on-2. That was defended, didn't go anywhere. Doughty's then denied on a rush. That power play is killed off. And the Kings go right back to the power play. So Nashville last year had a problem with taking too many penalties. And it seems like that is the same problem they're having this year. And it's something that if they don't get it straightened out could sink them, right? So Preds didn't let the Kings set it up, but then we had 1 minute and 6 seconds of 5-on-3. Kempe blasts one high. McDonough does clear it, but then during the 5-on-4, it's Gabe Vilardi, who's off to a very good start to the season, from Kaliev and Durzi at 4:24, and he tipped it 5-hole. So Saros not with much chance on that one. Kings go back to the power play. That was killed off. McDonough can't bury one as Nashville presses, but then Forsberg does. He scores from Granlund and Duchesne at 8:32. That was shortly after McDonough couldn't bury, so Nashville gets that goal anyways and makes it 2-1 in their favor. Preds had some momentum, and they draw themselves a power play. Good cycle. The Kings kill it, and then back to the power play. Jeannot has a chance that's saved, and the Predators press, but that was after the kill was done. So the Kings kill off back-to-back power plays, and there were 13 penalty kills altogether tonight, or 13 power plays altogether, however you want to look at it. How would the glass half empty, glass half full work for that? Would power plays be glass half full or penalty kill glass half full? All right. Anyways, not a great goal on Peterson ends up happening when Jeannot scores from Sissons at 19:29. And it's too bad because Duchesne had just been denied. So this is a goal that, yeah, Peterson should have had that. And it puts Nashville ahead by a score of 3-1. So we're going into the third period. And again, Peterson, who gets beat up a little bit by Kings fans that I've seen online, he gets that back. He should win them back based on what happened beyond that second period. Saros is tested early, holds on. Kings get a power play. That's killed off. Fabro couldn't bury one on a rush. Kings go back to the power play. That's killed off. But Roy scores from Lemieux at 13 minutes on a rush. Matt Roy had 2 goals all of last season. He would have 2 goals before the night was out today. Post for Niederreiter on a rush. Hey, when Peterson's starting to get it back, a post can be his friend. 3:52 left. The Preds get a power play, but then it becomes 1 minute and 21 seconds of 4-on-4. I think it's Duchesne that took the penalty there to wipe out the power play. And then Roy scores from Vilardi and Byfield at 17:52. So with 3:52 left, when the Preds go to the power play, if you were thinking, well, this game's done, I'm right there with you. I thought it was done. But Roy ties it. So 2 goals in the third period. We're going to overtime. Preds controlled early. Kings win the next face-off. Durzi was denied on that. Fiala blocks a Duchesne chance. Kopitar has a shot that's held. And then Forsberg draws a power play. It's a 4-on-3. They had opportunities. Could not solve. Peterson in the overtime. We go to a shootout. And in the shootout, the winners scored by Gabe Vilardi. So there you go. Gabe Vilardi, a player that 5 years ago I was talking about a lot before the draft. Now he's finally become the player that I thought he would be before the draft. The back issues definitely held him back for years. It's a good story with Vilardi at this point, and a good story if you're a Kings fan. They have won this one 4-3 in overtime. They're now 3-2 on the season, so after a rough start, they've got it together with this road trip. For the Preds, they're now winless in 3. They're 2-2-1. Those 2 wins over San Jose. They've got to get this going. But they did have it going at points during this game. So the shots were bizarre. 11-5 LA in the first, 18-7 Nashville in the second, 15-3 in favor of the Kings in the third, and then 7-2 Nashville in the overtime. So Peterson earned his pay in that overtime. Final shots 35-33 for LA. Power plays, LA 1 for 8, Nashville 0 for 5. You can't give up 8 power plays in a game. The hits were 31-20 in favor of the Nashville Predators. So very entertaining games, good fun night, and all done. So tomorrow night there's just the 3 games in the National Hockey League, but I'll be reporting on and reviewing those and previewing them in the morning. There you go. We're done for tonight. I really do like that Monday and Tuesday are busy nights. Thursday's going to be a busy night. Saturday's a busy night. It seems like most of this year's schedule in the National Hockey League is built that way. I like that. I think that's going to be fun for all of us. And so, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below regarding any of these games. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.